So here we have our poffins. Now they've had one rise, and now we're going to stick jam in their bottoms because that's what you do with poffins. So, Abigail, take over. So first, we get our poffins and we make a hole in the bottom of them, like that. And then we get some jam, and we add a wee bit of jam to the bottom of each poffin. Now, I always thought that people in bakeries that only added a wee bit of jam to any baked good were just really stingy. However, having tried making poffins last night, we discovered that if you add a nice generous dollop of jam, you just get a poffin that oozes. So now I understand why you put a wee bit of jam. So once you've added your jam, then you seal your bottom up like this. Which makes it look more like a pierogi than a poffin. But that's okay, because then we're going to give it a little knead so that the jam turns into a nice jammy surprise after it's baked and you bite into it.
Not shutting.
Not shutting? Well, then you toss that one back and forth and give it a good knead. That strange noise is our dog, Foo. And she's saying, please let me out the back door. I want to go and chase the chickens. She's already done this once today, and we had to shower her. So she's not getting out again. Okay. Yep. So we're kneading our poffins.
I have cursed fingers.
And they're going to have a second rise, so it's not really essential that they look brilliant.
I'll
now.
put jam in.
Okay, Abby's going to be the jam person. So here we go, adding the raspberry jam to the pink poffins. Now, we couldn't find any green jam. Actually, that's not true. We made green jam earlier in the year, lime marmalade.
Turned out brown.
It turned out brown. It was too caramelised, and frankly, it didn't taste that good either. So we're just going to put in raspberry and blueberry jam into these green poffins. Whenever we talk about jam here in the Boot family, we always think of that really lovely film Hope and Glory, made by John Borman in the late 80s, about a family living in London during the Blitz. And the father comes home on leave. He's typing for Victory. And he comes home on leave and he has these tins of jam, but they have no labels on them. They've washed up on the shore. And they were from a German supply ship that sank. And so they've brought home this jam, and they haven't had jam for months because of rationing. And he slaps the tin down on the table and says to the family, "It's jam." And they all look at it suspiciously. And the mother says, "What sort of jam?" And the father says, "German jam." "Oh," she says, she can't possibly eat German jam. They could have poisoned it. And he said, "Oh, as if it's poisoned." And she said, "Well, you never know. They know how much we like jam." And the eldest daughter, Dawn, decides that she's not going to eat it because that wouldn't be patriotic. And her little brother, who the story is told through his eyes, says, "Oh, you," what does he say?
I don't know.
And he says, "That's not true.
You never eat jam. You don't like jam."
And so Billy, the little boy, and his dad, they open this tin and they scoop out spoonfuls of jam and they eat it. And really, really satisfied with their jam and the fact that it hasn't killed them. And then Dawn's boyfriend comes over and he's a Canadian soldier.
He dies.
And he eats some jam and then he pretends to fall on the floor and die. So whenever we have jam, we always think of what kind of jam? German jam! How's that one going, Abby? It's looking very pierogi-fied.
Mm-hmm.
So in helping our little poffins to rise in this cold, grey Melbourne weather, we stuck them on top of the heating vent, which does help them rise, but it also makes them go a little bit dry. And I don't know whether it's the food colouring, but you know, the drying heating vent and the food colouring, we seem to have wound up with what feels more like dried out Play-Doh and bread dough. Oh well. Now, do you want yours to remain looking like no pierogi? Okay, well I shall try to turn it into a ball, into a poffin. Voila. And the last one. Actually, Abby, these green ones look as though I've made them with cabbage leaves.
I do a bit. Like pasta.
This little green one definitely doesn't want to stick together in good poffin fashion. It's okay. We'll just force him to.
You should agree.
Yeah, he does look a bit like he's the Incredible Hulk poffin.
Raising strength and endurance levels.
And there you go. We have our little poffins ready for their second rise.